This is how you master your dark side. It's all through the process of shadow work, all right? And the process of shadow work always starts with facing your shadow. And what is your shadow? Your dark side, just to be exact. Simply termed, or simply put, it is the parts of yourself you have rejected and repressed for whatever reason. Usually these are negative aspects, conventionally negative aspects of the self, like anger, shame, guilt, fears, insecurities, traumas, bad memories, right? But depending on your upbringing, it could also be more conventionally positive attributes or characteristics, like creativity, joy, excitement, enthusiasm, expression, right? So it could be good or bad. It's usually the negative aspects of our being that society in general doesn't want us to have or express, especially anger. But also, depending on your parents and your caregivers, they might have specific parts of their shadow that they've repressed, right? They've repressed their own joy, their own creativity, their own enthusiasm, and so they inhibit it, suppress it, beat it down in you. But like I just said, for the most part, it's the parts of yourself that you've rejected and repressed. That is your dark side. It doesn't always have to be this evil, ominous thing. A lot of times it is. You do have your inner demons in there. You do have your dark traumas, your severe memories that cause a lot of pain and suffering. It is in there as well, but it doesn't always have to be full of darkness and negativity. It could have certain positive aspects as well, okay? How do you face it? You go into your subconscious mind, do some form of meditation or mindfulness, hypnosis, whatever it is, some process. You go internally, looking inside yourself, introspectively, to look at this part of yourself, to look at your shadow, which has your fears, your insecurities, your traumas, your hypocrisies, your negative emotions and feelings. You can also face your shadow in the external environment. Funny enough, in your day-to-day life. This can be more difficult though. It usually is. Because our shadow is constantly being projected out into the world around us. Now, how can you recognize your shadow in the regular day-to-day life? Usually, this is what happens when you get triggered. When you see your shadow out in the external world, you become triggered, and it triggers a negative emotion, fear, anger, or grief, or sadness. Some form of contraction. And this can manifest physically as well. You tighten up physically, or you scrunch your face up, or you yell, or you resist, or you run away, or you're just repelled by it. Because this is the part of yourself you've rejected and repressed. People talking too loud, laughing too loud, having too good of a time. Judgment, anger, contraction. It's your shadow. Somebody gets angry and yells. You feel fear or angry back, contraction. Somebody expresses themselves in a sexual way. Sexuality is huge. Lust, desire. The carnal desire for the flesh, for you Puritan watchers, if there are any out there. The carnal desires for sex and intimacy and union can trigger people and their shadow. This happens a lot. People project a lot of their sexual fantasies and hidden sexual desires onto women. That's why women get attacked a lot for being sexual. It's because people are angry at them for expressing themselves in a sexual way when they repress their own sexuality. Not to say that every time a woman or a person even, it doesn't have to be a woman, a person is hypersexual in the public eye is necessarily a good thing or a healthy thing, because they're probably dealing with their own things, but more so it doesn't have to elicit this anger or this visceral contraction. You can observe it and see it for what it is instead of having this visceral triggering reaction. So whatever happens outside of you, in the world that triggers you, that is a part of yourself you have rejected and repressed, being projected out, shown to you, but from your perspective, it's external, it has nothing to do with you. You're separate from it. That's them, you're you. You're good, they're bad. Projection, shadow, all right? So you can face your shadow by going inside of yourself, which I believe is easier, more efficient, more, constructive, effective is the right term. But you can also do it in your day-to-day life, which is more difficult, but also very powerful as well. When you face your shadow, whether it's in the external world or the internal world, it is all about understanding it, understanding what it is, whether it's your anger, your fear, your trauma, your inner demons, your inner critic, what past memories, even past lives. It's a whole other can of worms. You accept it fully through understanding and through facing it, and you forgive. That's right. Forgiveness. It's cliche, it's corny, and very difficult to actually forgive yourself. It's easier to project your shadow onto others, blame them and get angry at them, judge them, demonize them and feel separate from them, from the things you don't like in the world, instead of accepting and forgiving. The pain, the suffering, the chaos, all of the things that make you feel bad and contracted and small are parts of the world and yourself you need to forgive and allowing to exist, because we live in an infinite universe with free will and God manifesting in whatever form and shape it chooses to understand itself fully. And so if you're judging and resisting and contracting through this process of understanding, which God is doing, the universe is doing, Allah, right? Yahweh, whatever you believe in, Buddha, the more that you have this resistance and this separation to this process, the more that life is going to feel like it's happening to you instead of you happening to life. You're gonna feel like you're constantly a victim and that things are not going the way that you want them to because you're resisting it. And you're gonna act unconsciously and things are gonna manifest in a negative way, and you're gonna face your shadow and you're gonna face your shadow and you're gonna face your shadow until you learn the lesson and accept and forgive. Until you look inside of yourself and accept and forgive this part of yourself, it's gonna constantly be projected outside. And you're gonna think, oh, it's just fate. Oh man, it's just these negative things keep happening to me. I do not know why. I have the worst luck. It's like, no, you have an unintegrated shadow that is trying to get your attention through the external world around you. Simple as that. And then finally, you integrate your shadow, whether it's your sexuality, your anger, your fear, your grief, your trauma, negative memories, your joy, your enthusiasm, your creativity, your authentic expression, right? Integrate it. And all this means is embodying it in your everyday life. So if you're integrating the shadow that has repressed sexuality, learning how to express yourself in your day-to-day without being fearful of judgment. Being able to talk about sex in a natural way when it's brought up. Obviously, it doesn't mean that you want to go the other way and talk about it, say if you had, repressed sexual stuff, but being able to talk about it with your partner or with friends or even family, if they're okay with it, obviously, it can be kind of weird. But in the right situations, integrating it, not shying away from it, right? Not judging other people for their sexuality. Your fears and insecurities, being able to laugh at yourself, an integrated shadow. When you have your insecurities, acknowledging them, accepting them, forgiving yourself for judging yourself for your own insecurities, for your flaws, which we all have. We all have insecurities. But being able to laugh at them, and if somebody points an insecurity out, triggers you by mentioning it, whatever that may be, not getting offended, not getting triggered, but being able to laugh and acknowledge, like, yeah, this is a flaw, or this is a thing I'm insecure about. But you've embodied it, you are owning it, Another way of saying integrating your shadow is embodying it, and another way of embodying your shadow is owning it fully. Saying, yeah, this is me. This is my fears, this is my insecurities, this is my creative energy, the way that I express myself, this is my anger, and I'm not afraid of it. And I'm willing to show it in an integrated, conscious way, not an unconscious way. And I know this title says how to master your shadow, but through this illustration, what I'm trying to teach you is that you're not meant to think of it as an adversary. It's not really something to master, more so something to integrate and become friends with. You and your shadow are meant to merge into one cohesive, coherent being. It's not one part of yourself trying to overcome, dominate, or destroy the other. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed. And you can integrate your shadow and make it a part of yourself to propel you forward and embody the characteristics you've disowned to be a more whole, full being. Or you can continue to fight it, think you have to dominate it through effort and force, and you're gonna lose every time. So again, I know that the title of this video says master, but you wanna get the idea of mastering your dark side, mastering your shadow, dominating yourself, you versus you. No, it's you and you. You and you on the same team, working together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Again, there's these cliches have a lot of wisdom in them. So we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, okay? So becoming friends with the mirror. This is the shadow, the mirror image. It's the reflection that you're meant to befriend and accept and forgive and then integrate. Not fight, resist, blame, right? That's just fueling the shadow and making it stronger. And as the great Carl Jung, who coined the term shadow and essentially coined the philosophy and the actions of shadow work, the process, said, everyone carries a shadow, and the less it's embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. All this means is that the more that you reject, the more that you don't accept, the more that you resist and blame and project your shadow, the more it controls you, the darker it is, the denser it is. You treat it like an enemy, it will act like an enemy, and it will win. Trust me. It's an archetypal energy that is far more powerful than your individualistic, egoic mind. You're not gonna win. So you gotta put up the guns, put up the weapons, drop it, raise the white flag and say, let's do this diplomatically. Let's become friends. I'll give you what you want, you give me what we want. And we come together as a team. That simple. Now, in practice, it could be a little harder. Philosophy is simple. But if you want to actually learn how to understand, accept, forgive, integrate your shadow, get it on your team, stop trying to dominate it and fight it, but work with it, I have a step-by-step guide, transformation guide. You can get the link down below in the description that will guide you through this process to integrate your shadow in a healthy way. I appreciate your time. Cheers.